She hasn't changed.
In 7 years?
Well, in some ways, yes. A few lines, maybe, and she used to wear her hair loose. When I first entered Parliament, she was just a young doctor. And now, chief delegate of her country.
And now you're a junior minister.
Attention. Attention, please.
The chairman of this first conference for medicine for peace is the chief delegate of the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic, Dr. Irina Petrovna Gaevska.
An important person.
She is indeed to me. I want to marry her, Mr. Rule. Bring her to London. I'm relying on you. Is this a reliable forgery?
The best that money could buy.
There's no photograph.
It didn't work.
Yes, of course. I understand you're going to travel with Irina.
Yes, we thought perhaps Irena might feel happier with a woman.
That was very kind of you.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Easterbrook. You will see her very soon.
Well, let's go.
I don't need to tell you how grateful I am to all of you.
Yeah, this is just the place.
Those woods will help.
Yeah. Of course, our main problem could be that there's only one road back to Salzburg.
But we have the advantage of this being an official party. Security must keep at a distance.
Is that it?
Yes.
There's no cover there for me. Don't be too long.
Okay.
No, these boats are no good. I can get a much faster job. And I've got the four-wheel drive Jeep.
Good. I have found the right girl. So we're all set.
Great.
Я теперь попрошу товарища профессора Johnson. I now call upon Professor Johnson from the British delegation to address the conference.
Fellow delegates, first I would like to acknowledge how much my own work has relied on the fundamental and original research of our chairwoman.
In many cases, speedy diagnosis was essential. For a number of years now, Dr. Gaevska has led the way, opening up new paths of experiment, which I and many other scientists all over the world have followed.
Radiation has become an emotive word, but Dr. Gaevska
is a true pioneer in the field of radiation for peaceful uses. I would like in particular to mention her spectacular success in the use of trace elements as applied to medical diagnosis. Already the benefits of what can be described as her breakthrough in this area are being felt. I was in Canada recently and had the opportunity opportunity of visiting...
Dr. Irina Gaevska.
The edge of the tundra. A hospital sowing a
This
vast
is the
area
contact
of
you are
scattered
expecting.
towns and settlements.
Tomorrow you are going to the
And
castle
because
at
of the
Anif.
difficulties of the terrain,
Now listen carefully.
patients arrived in a week.
I'm so terribly sorry you're cold. Oh, it was entirely my fault. Fraulein. Oh, really, I'm so sorry. Fraulein. I'm so terribly sorry, my dear, but it's a
Борис, следи їх.
Damen hier.
stopped. We're turning round. We're doubling back to Salzburg.
This is das letztes Anmeldung for Swift 123 to London. This is the last call for flight 123 to London.
حضرتكم هنيجي على التالي.
Right. Okay, thanks, Paul. I'll be landing in an hour. I'd say the worst is over.
Yes.
How about some coffee?
Yes. Thank you.
Is this a direct flight? Yes. When you step off this plane, you will be in England. Then that ticket gate in Salzburg, that really was the last frontier. I will never forget what you have done for me. You know that I will soon be free, but you will not know how I will feel unless you have lived as I have lived. Always watched, always suspected.
We will always be watching over your shoulder.
Any second thoughts? Oh. Who can leave home, family, even language without some regret?
And your work?
That's easy. Dr. Irena Gajewska, nuclear scientist, radiation expert, will become Mrs. Irena Eastbrook, English housewife. Miss Irena Eastbrook.
Isn't it time we were leaving?
Before we go, I'd like you to tell me what's on your mind.
I don't know what you mean. Look, we'll be late.
Eastbrook, you're a worried man. I'd like to know why.
Well, I suppose you'll find out soon enough anyway. There's someone else involved in all this.
Who?
Jones. Military intelligence.
So, you made a deal?
Oh, I don't make deals.
Oh, of course not. You make approaches through proper channels.
What do you mean? What are you suggesting?
You want to marry an important scientist, a worldwide authority in her field.
Yes, I realize that.
And you must have also realized the British intelligence would be interested. So I repeat, what's the deal?
It isn't like you think. Irina is to be allowed to stay here. We'll get married, and there'll be no interference.
Go on.
Well, then after 6 months or so, when we've settled down, they'll ask her, mind you, if she'll assist them, work for a few weeks at Cranfield.
The Government Research Center.
A polite request, no pressure, her decision.
And you believed?
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be landing in a few minutes. Will you please fasten your seatbelts?
How do you feel?
A little nervous.
Darling, this is Mr. Harry Rule.
Oh, Mr. Rule. Caroline has told me a little about you. I'm so pleased to meet you.
Dr. Gajewska. My name is Jones.
Irina, I want you to listen to me. There are a few details, no more than formalities.
Formalities?
Yes, I want you to understand.
Who is this man?
I'm from British intelligence.
For heaven's sake, Jones, couldn't you have had the common decency to wait? Irina, I can explain.
You can't do this to me.
Irina.
7 years. 7 years.
Irina, please.
Permission has been granted for you to stay in the country, Doctor, but there are certain conditions.
I can guess these conditions.
Irina, I had no choice. You must understand that.
Oh, I do understand. But there is always a choice. What do you want from me?
Your work is very important. The car is waiting.
I came to England for one reason. To marry. I will never work for you. I'm going home.
Thanks. Let them through, please. Let the stretcher please. Come on, madam. Thank you. Keep right back there, please. Come on, stand right back, please. Give them plenty of room.
You saw her wrist.
I once read a book about Hiroshima. It was maybe a mistake. Well, she didn't go home, Mr. Rule. And she didn't stay.
Who was it?
A lot of hard work wasted.
Who was it?
What do you mean?
Who killed her? You or them?
I don't understand.
There was a puncture mark on her wrist. She was murdered.
She was a brilliant scientist, a unique intellect, a prize in the game we play. As for who did it, Mr. Rule, you don't imagine anyone will ever know that.